We have thousands and thousands of thoughts every single day. You know, chances are, as you're watching this video right now, there's a part of your brain that's paying attention to me, and there's a part of your brain that's thinking 100 different thoughts. Maybe you're thinking about what you're going to eat next. Maybe you're thinking about how that customer or client you had at work just said something that just got under your skin. These are all just thoughts, right? They're like clouds passing in the sky. Now, sometimes we have some really messed up thoughts, and that's kind of human nature. You know, sometimes someone can just say something rude to us or say something mean to us, and before long we're visualizing, oh, if I could just get my hands on that person. You know, you've probably done this today. You know, most people do it at least several times a day, and most people have some really dark thoughts that take them to some really dark places. But I'm here to tell you and explain to you why you should never feel guilty about those thoughts, how to control those thoughts, so that you don't keep on giving those negative thoughts energy. So that way you reduce the amount of times that you're having these negative thought patterns. With that being said, today's episode is going to be all about thought. So, what are thoughts? In my opinion, I really like the way that Dr. Joe Dispenza, how to change the habit of being yourself. Right? And in that book, he really describes about how to change your thinking processes, and how by kind of a disciplined process of changing your thinking process, you can actually reprogram your subconscious brain and really become a new person. So, what are thoughts? Thoughts, in essence, are no more than ideas that pop into your head. Your brain automatically generates these thoughts as it goes through its day, and this is your brain caring for worst case circumstances, best case circumstances, because your brain is just programmed to put itself in different circumstances so that it's already prepared for a situation before your body enters into a hypothetical situation. But that's the thing about thoughts, is thoughts aren't real. Thoughts are just hypothetical situations about what could be, what happened in the past, or what might be in the present. Depending on the attention that we give those thoughts in our day-to-day lives, they may or may not actually become our realities. For instance, if we're constantly focused on the past, then a lot of those things that happened to us in the past will repeat themselves in the future, because we're thinking those thoughts and we're repeating those same patterns. Or, for instance, if you wake up in the morning and you're having a really bad, negative, angry day, then guess what? Your day is probably going to have more kind of bad, negative, angry connotations as you move out through your day. Conversely, if you wake up in a great mood and you choose to give your positive thoughts more attention, then you're a lot more likely to have a good day, a happy day, a positive day. Of course, yeah, sure, some freak accidents and things like that can always happen, come right along and mess up your day. But as a general rule, when you maintain a good attitude throughout the day, good things happen. When you maintain a bad attitude throughout the day, bad things happen. Why you should never feel guilty for your thoughts? Because let's all be honest, throughout the day we have bad thoughts. Maybe we have an angry thought, a negative thought, a violent thought. We think of committing a crime or lashing out at a certain way at a certain somebody. And sometimes by the time we get home, we feel guilty. We feel like burdened down by these thoughts. We just feel like, man, like, you know, maybe I shouldn't have thought all those things. Maybe I shouldn't have visualized all these like scenarios and these kind of negative actions happening to me, and me doing these negative things to other people or saying these negative things to other people. And it can really get us to the point where before we go to bed, we kind of feel bad. We kind of feel in a low vibrational state. We kind of feel angry and disappointed in ourselves. And the reality is, you should never feel guilty for that, because most people are never trained on how to utilize their thoughts, how to control their thoughts. When was the last time you went, like, have you ever been in a class or ever had a teacher who ever told you, here's what thoughts are, and here's how you can give attention to good thoughts, and here's how you can deny negative thoughts, right? Probably not. I know no one taught me that. That was something I had to read over the course of years, way into my 20s, after I had kind of spent my entire teenage years and early 20s living in a constant state of anger and frustration and blaming others for my problems and lashing out at anybody who I thought disrespected me or bothered me or frustrated me in the slightest, right? That used to be me until I learned how to control my thoughts, how to control my mind. So thoughts, I drew a little diagram right up here. So let's just say you're this stick figure right here, right? And all of these little circles up here represent thoughts. Now we have tens of thousands of thoughts all throughout the day. And let's be honest, if you grew up in America, then you're probably geared to think negatively. Because look at the news. It doesn't matter what news channel you're watching. CNN, Fox, NBC, CBS, whatever, right? Guess what most of those news channels almost always focus on? What's wrong in the world? What bad thing happened? What bad thing is going on? Why you need to be concerned and worried for your safety and your family right now, and how this is so urgent that, like, if you don't worry about this, then like something even worse is going to happen, right? Not even just like today's news. You know, this started a long time ago with the invention of the printing press. So it's not even our problem necessarily. But the reality is people have kind of been taking advantage, especially the media, of our minds, because our mind is generally geared to react more towards negative news than it is towards positive news, because negative news can sometimes hold a greater physical danger for us, which puts our body into a state of stress. And believe it or not, our bodies can get addicted to this state of stress, which means that over time you become programmed to give more attention to the negative thoughts, more attention to the fearful thoughts in your brain than you do to the positive thoughts, the empathetic thoughts, the kind thoughts, and the hopeful thoughts in your brain. And so that's why you might go home at the end of the day feeling bad and feeling guilty for your thoughts. But don't feel guilty, because that's how you are programmed. The key, therefore, is to unprogram that and to program your mind to think more positively. You'll feel positive, you'll feel happy, or maybe you'll just be able to focus on your family, focus on your friends, focus on your pets, focus on some self-love and some self-care at the end of the day, instead of feeling bad and negative about all these thoughts that you had throughout the day. So let this kind of stick figure represent you. How do you think positively? Well, it all starts with becoming more aware of your thoughts. So whenever you're going through a situation in life, right, before you have two choices, right? As you're going through life, you can either react to certain situations and thoughts, or you can respond to situations and thoughts. When you react, which is what most people do, you hear something, you experience something, you have an interaction, and you just jump right into the first thought that comes to your mind and give it all of your energy. And if we're programmed to think negatively, that means we jump straight into a negative thought and give it all of our energy, right? Before even considering the other possibilities. Let's just say someone cuts us off in traffic, and before we think to react positively and say, all right, maybe that person needs to get home really fast because maybe they have an emergency at the house, maybe someone's life is in danger, maybe their pet just escaped and they need to go home and find it, right? Before we even begin to think something positive like that, we automatically jump into negative. Wow, this person just hates this person is disrespecting me, this person doesn't like the way my car looks, like this person just angry at how slow I'm driving, right? And then we just harbor that negativity and that anger inside our brains all day long, sometimes for hours at a time, and it affects the way we speak to our friends, it affects the way we speak to our coworkers, our bosses, everybody. So it all starts with becoming aware. So next time that anything happens, whether it's a positive or negative situation in your life, instead of jumping straight into an emotional reaction, respond. So sit there, take maybe like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and think. Really focus on being aware of your thoughts. Like, take all of your bad thoughts and take all of your good thoughts and kind of just create like a mental diagram of them and realize them for what they are. They're just thoughts. And guess what? You have 100 different thoughts. The thought that you give the most attention to, that's the one that you're going to feel. So you can either choose to give attention to a negative thought, and then you start feeling bad, you start feeling angry, you start feeling aggressive or depressed or anxious, right? Or you can choose to give your attention to that positive thought. And I guarantee, if you consciously make the decision to give energy towards the positive thoughts in your life, you'll start being happier. You'll start seeing the good in people, you'll start seeing the good in life, and you'll start living a less fearful, less anxious, less negative life. It all starts with making a conscious effort. So, as you go forward into this week, really make an effort to analyze your thoughts. If it helps you, take out a journal and whenever a situation happens, a conversation happens, something that kind of challenges you, just write it down. What are my thoughts? What are my good thoughts? And what are my bad thoughts in the situation? And then before you jump into an emotionally charged, like, kind of outburst, so to speak, really look at those lists of both your thoughts and decide which thought do you want to give attention to? Which thought do you want to give energy to? And I guarantee if you start choosing the good thoughts, the hopeful thoughts, the optimistic thoughts, the empathetic thoughts, you will be way happier when you go through your life. Way happier. And it might be hard at first, but eventually once you do it enough, it'll become a habit. And it'll become a habit for you to think positively instead of negatively. And then you'll have great weeks. You'll have great months. Sometimes you'll have great years because you won't be bogged down and dragged down by all this negativity. But that's what it is. That's it for today. Just wanted to do a short video on thoughts. If you have any comments, thoughts, experiences, please comment them below. Send us a DM. Check out our social media. Like I said, we're kind of new to this whole YouTube thing, so I definitely know that I have a lot to learn with my presentation. If you want to see better diagrams, better pictures, if you want me to make shorter videos, longer videos, please just let me know, because I'm trying to learn this whole thing myself. So I appreciate your love and your support, and I will be back in a couple days for another video. Thanks.